Hello everyone, this is the One Piece 1021. This is an introductory video to the channel, and we'll be starting off with a Bonney from OP08 deck profile. We'll go through the card by card, and then we'll put in some test games in the sim. In case you aren't aware, I will go over each individual card briefly, and I'll also hover over the card, so you can pause the video if you want to go in more detail. But we're playing Bonney. We're going with 4 Cavendish. This is a very integral piece to our strategy. In this particular build, a lot of the times I want to tap out, so Cavendish is a good combo piece. You could play this 10 cost Doflamingo if you have a Cavendish already on board. Untap 2 Dawn. Utilize one of the other Dawn that you untap for an attack perhaps, and then leave one open for your leader ability. We have a few interesting one-ofs, one of them being Eustace Captain Kidd. We're not running the Rosinante blocker package, but this is still a very good and relevant card into aggro. Some decks still have a hard time removing this, however others do not. It is not as relevant in the black matchup or yellow matchup most of the time. So that's why it's a one of, but it is searchable. So if you need to see it, you can usually find it, but it won't clog. And I know I'll be skipping around here a little bit, but another one of is the 5 cost Jewelry Bonney. This card is very relevant. I will say in my testing that a majority of the time you'll be freezing their Dawn, but being able to freeze any character regardless of cost is also a very useful ability. I would say the best use that I've gotten out of this is when playing against yellow, particularly Charlotte Pudding. You can freeze one of their Dawn before their next turn when they're about to play a 9 or 10 drop, particularly 10 drop Big Mom or 9 drop Charlotte Woodland. So that's the use case and thought behind that one. One of the other interesting one-ofs is Trafalgar Law from the second starter set, or starter deck, I should say. It is restricted to only restanding a supernova, cost 5 or less. But again, Cavendish is a very integral part of the strategy, particularly this build. So a lot of times what you can do is, for instance, and this is all predicated on your Cavendish surviving a turn, which isn't completely unreasonable into some decks. So Cavendish is on board. Let's say you do a search with either the Jewelry Bonney or Baby 5 Searcher. You attack, restand 2 Dawn, and then you can play this Trafalgar Law to restand Cavendish and attack with them again, untap 2 more Dawn, and you see where the value engine kind of goes from there. That's a very good tempo play. Typically, you're only going to do that in specific scenarios where you want to play multiple characters or get multiple searches, kind of as mentioned before. And the last interesting one of, this is actually a card that I saw when going through my bulk. It's also from Starter Deck 2, Straw Sword. Now this lets you rest any of your opponent's characters regardless of cost. It does have a trigger that's not super relevant. It's actually not relevant at all, really, other than you could perhaps play a Jewelry Bonney Searcher from your hand. Um, but we're looking for the utility to be able to rest anything to potentially go for game. Also in the purple matchup against Purple Kaido, which is seeing relevance because of the addition of OP08 Black Maria. A lot of times you can just cast this, rest the Black Maria, attack into the Black Maria, and not only are they down a 2k, but they can't go through with the um, main strategy that they're trying to employ. So it's a tech card. This could be removed for any sort of addition to another ratio, like perhaps 9 cost Zoro or 10 cost Doflamingo. But I wouldn't mess with the ratios too much. And this card does have an interesting use case for finishing games and also kind of resting those pesky characters that we may have difficulty removing. So that's kind of the use case behind Straw Sword. But this is very much a flex slot, as is Trafalgar Law. I will say Bonney and Eustace Kid aren't quite as flexible because I feel like they've proven their worth in other lists as well. So I would not adjust that too much. Next up is our 2K counters. We're running 2 Viola. We're running 4 Baby 5. And then we are running 4 Scratchman and Pooh. So the reason we went with this particular composition of 2K counters is 10 is a safe number. There's a lot of aggro going around with Zero, the new Zoro deck from OP08, playing the Animal / Drum Kingdom package. They go wide very quickly. A lot of times it's attacks for 6,000 over and over again. So having extra 2Ks is good. And the reason being for this particular split is because in the base package, we were playing more Supernova cards than we are Don Quixote family cards. So, based on the search, you're primarily going to hit either one of your 2Ks, one of the 2 late game Doflamingo, or I should say Don Quixote family cards, being 10 cost Doflamingo or the 8 cost Rosinante, which are both integral pieces, but also we'll be searching for the 0 cost event. There's a lot of bricks that you can have in the deck, and again, with the advent of aggro with Zero, Kalgara from OP08, and even kind of more like tempo / aggro decks like Blue Doflamingo. This card's definitely necessary. So that is the 2K counters. Now we'll go on to some of our late game top ends. We've already discussed the Eustace Captain Kidd, but we do have 2 of the 10 cost Doflamingo from OP04. This card could be very, very key in certain matchups, particularly yellow when they're playing, for instance, multiple big bodies such as 9 cost Yamato, 10 cost Ace, 10 cost Charlotte Linlin. You can freeze if they're not careful. I mean, most of the time they're just going to turn their cards sideways against you anyway, and you'll be using your Bonney ability to rest something naturally, so they play in tandem. And again, this card is also relevant with having a build that's a little bit more Cavendish centric. you're able to play this card and then untap 2 of your Dawn with Cavendish, which makes your leader ability live. Again, very, very good card. However, we don't want to necessarily play more than 2 copies. It can just brick and into aggro or more tempo decks that can race you. You may not even get to this card. So that is why it's at 2. It's a fantastic card, but it either clogs your hand too much at times at any ratio more than 2 or 3, or you may not even make it to that against certain decks. So that's the reasoning behind that. We've got 3 Don Quixote Rosinante. Now this is truly the bread and butter of the deck. As you can see, we're playing several 5 costs to accommodate this. One of them being the new OP08 edition, being Carrot. This is fantastic value against most decks on your 8 Dawn turn. Even if you do tap out, going Rosinante into Carrot or into Cavendish, fantastic value. Fantastic value. Particularly, we were wanting to play this against Black because while Rosinante is rested, your 5-cost characters cannot be KO'd while he's rested. He's also an 8,000 body, so could be hard to remove in battle. I will say one of his downsides is he himself can be removed, but they have to go through him first with their effects in the Black matchup. Into Blue, they have a little bit of a tougher time because they would have to red rock him with him being outside of Gravity Blade Raging Tiger range. But this is a searchable character that we are going to try to search out early so that we can go on, let's say, our 9 Dawn turn if we're going first, or 8 Dawn turn going second. We almost always want to play this card into a Cavendish or Carrot. Carrot getting some excellent utility because a lot of people want to remove Carrot or Cavendish on the spot, and Rosinante is there to protect them in the Black matchup. It can be relevant into red as well, with let's say, for instance, Otama Jet Pistol, or when OP08.5 comes around, when Marco starts to see more play due to the new structure deck dropping. The new Newgate card could also just pop Cavendish or Carrots. So getting that protection with Rosinante is relevant going forward into that matchup as well. Let's see. So while we were talking about Rosinante, we'll continue. I'll just reiterate, Carrot is an amazing card. This adds excellent tempo 90% of the time. It's very, very good into other decks with tempo. Again, your Blue Doflamingos, your Zuros, decks like that, and they're really going to struggle and want to remove this card immediately, because if they don't, they'll just get slowed down to the point where we're going to drag the game out, and it's going to end in our favor, because our top end is typically better than most decks, barring, let's say, Charlotte Pudding. So Carrot is a new integral piece that is very, very strong and should not be underestimated. The other piece of top end is Cody Jones. This is an excellent finisher card. Honestly, it's really good for tempo as well. There's been a lot of red-purple Luffy, the starter deck leader from the three captains. Um, a lot of times they have very minimal defense, so a lot of times they'll want to play a blocker and leave a Don up for a radical beam. And Hody Jones just allows you to go the extra mile and push in. Um, a lot of times in matchups like that, they're also not going super heavy into life. They want to remove your characters, so you can use your life as a resource in a different way and take your own life. So a lot of times you can't get stalled out. This is also relevant into the Nami matchup because pretty much every time you're just gonna hard cast this, rest two of their Dawn, just go in because you definitely want to be the aggressor in that matchup. Hody Jones just has excellent utility. Don't want him at more than 3. You would maybe consider going 4, but I found 3 to be a sweet spot without clogging too much because you do want to see him pretty much every game. And then the last for the top end is 2 of the 9-cost Zoro. This is an excellent finisher card. It's also just good tempo. A lot of times, this card can get removed. I played against a Perona not too long ago, and they were able to remove 2 of both of my Zoros, a Tencost Doflamingo, and like some other cards, and that's just how the cookie crumbles, and that happens sometimes. But when it doesn't happen, and you force them to have an answer that they may or may not have, and this gets to stick, I mean, you're probably winning that game. So Zoro, excellent finisher, excellent on curve, just a very, very good card all around. Another key card to our strategy is 4-cost blocker Arouge. This card just allows you to tap out and to curve out properly, and it still leaves your leader ability alive. So I want to see this card every game. I'm looking for it in the opening hand a lot of the time. So that's the thought process behind a Rouge. Just a very key card, very simple card, but a powerful card. We're playing 3 of the 6-cost Basil Hawkins. Again, a very, very relevant card. This is amazing into the black matchup. A lot of people, or at least certain lists from early 08, have shown that 3-cost Brook isn't quite in as high of demand or like ratios in certain deck lists. So going for the double KO onto this character can be kind of a headache for black decks. It's also very relevant into blue, because yes, it is within Gravity Blade Raging Tiger range, but then they would have to remove it again after that, and it's just not going to happen. Basil Hawkins is definitely very crucial in either of those matchups. Just pretty much being an immovable wall really kind of sets the pace, and if you're able to play 2 of them, that's pretty tough for your opponent. So Basil Hawkins, another very key piece. And in general, that'll cover everything. So let's get some games in. Okay, first matchup, we're going into Rob Lucci. Typically, I would say we have a slight edge here. Lucci can have a hard time with Rosinante and some of our other characters. I'm going to elect to keep this. We have 2 searchers. The Zoros could be relevant, but 2 searchers is good. We'll start off with Jewelry Bonney and pass. Oh, and we'll scroll over cards in case some folks are newer. That is what Rob Lucci does. Essentially, he is a 5 life leader. On attacking, you take the top 2 cards of your deck and they go into your trash, and you get to reduce one of your opponent's character's cost by 1. Okay, so now we're searching with Jewelry Bonney. We're gonna get Cavendish. Let's see. We will attack for 5,000 because we want to leave a Dawn open for leader effects, and we also want to play our baby 5. All right, attack for 5,000. No reason in countering out, so we're gonna take that. Okay, as I thought, I was actually just gonna discuss this. He could rob Lucci there, and he did. No big deal. That means his trash is gonna be pretty empty, so we don't mind that at all. We'll just play that Cavendish we got and attack life for 6, and they will most likely take. Alright, pass turn. So now we force the removal. It won't be that difficult, but they may have to go through some hoops, being leader effect and let's say Brook or something of that nature, but they're going to have to string something together. We will use Bonney leader effect to rest Lucci. And in this instance, we will counter out our hands. A little repetitious, so we'll just counter out with one of these Rouge blockers. But we will keep the Cavendish in the event that this one's removed. Okay, they did not have an answer, so they decided to wall up with Sabo. Perhaps they want to get rid of some bricks as well in their hands. Probably a slow hand. Okay, 9 cost Stussy, we'll keep that in mind in case they play that in multiples, which we've seen in some lists in the West and the East. And a Spandy, okay. Alright, let's see. So here I believe, let's do the math. So I play a Rouge, leaves us with 3 Dawn. We'll attack with Cavendish, untap 2. We will play our Jewelry Bonney for 5, and then at the end of the turn we'll be able to untap a Dawn with the Rouge. That sounds like a great plan. Let's see. We will go 6,000 at Rob Lucci the character. Okay, force a 2K, and then we're gonna play our Jewelry Bonney, freeze one of his Dawn, and pass using our Rouge effect to untap a Dawn. Okay. Notice what he did there. He attacked into the Cavendish so that he doesn't give us a card. Not a bad play. I potentially still would have just gone for life though. We're gonna rest the Sabo blocker here. Jack, okay. So he's just gonna be able to take out a Rouge, and then he's gonna attack into Cavendish. We will counter with the other Cavendish. Oh, okay. Let's see. I think we'll just put some pressure into his board. It seems like his hand isn't all that great, and I don't want to give him some options into the next turn. Let's see. I could drop one of these Zoros and force him to remove it, but with him having Jack on the board, that's a little bit scary. So I think we play Hody Jones. We don't get any additional value from him other than just having the rush, but that should be enough. So we're gonna go 6,000 into Sabo. I go 6,000 into Rob Lucci, the character. And then we're gonna go 11,000 into Jack. Perfect. And then we'll go 5,000 into Life. Alright, that was a very strong turn. We cleared his board and only gave him 1 life. So he could be struggling here. We may see a 10 cost, or not 10 cost, I'm sorry, a 8 cost Gecko Moria. And it looks like they do not have Helmeppo and Trash. So we'll see what that turns into. We'll go ahead and take this. We're not too concerned with our life at the moment. Don't want to use a 2K, it's just inefficient there. Okay, looks like, yep, it's going to be a Rob Lucci. Okay. Yep, that sounds about right. And you get a Kaku 2K counter. Okay. If they would have seen a Rebecca, they would have been able to do the Spandine combo. Guess it's fortunate that we didn't have to deal with that. I think here it's pretty clear that we just set up Zoro and try to go for game next turn. So we'll go 5 at life. And they take that. Interesting. We go 6 at life. Okay. We will play our 9 cost Zoro, leaving 1 Dawn up for leader effect and pass. It's possible they can remove this. Most lists are playing multiple Ice Ages. Excuse me. We'll see. We only see 1 Tempest Kick in the trash, so that's not promising. It means they have 3 more and they are alive. But typically, unless he's piecing together how to do this, or just has a Stussy, that might be bad news. Okay, so here, I believe what we want to do is use our leader effect to rest his leader so that he can't get additional cost reduction. And here, I don't mind letting the Jewelry Bonney character go. I could potentially counter out, but then he'll just attack it with the Rob Lucci character, so we'll just let it go. Okay. He's setting up, he's posturing for another 8 Dawn turn. Or 8 Dawn play, I should say. 8,000 at life. Let's see. You have 1 Isho and Trash. I'm going to play around Isho and just counter out. Okay. So more than likely that was an Isho. And we stopped that from having any sort of effectiveness. Or he could have just postured that and he didn't actually have it, and that's fine. Okay, they stock up on 2 2Ks. They're expecting us to go for game. Okay, so we're going to disrupt their flow a little bit. We're going to go 5 at life. Not too concerned with what they choose to do here. We just want a card from their hand, or if they give us the life, so be it. Okay, I mean, yeah, Zoro would get 3 attacks, but then they would just have the resources and go for game. So what we're going to elect to do here is I could play a second Zoro, but what I really want to do is play Tenko's Doflamingo, freeze his 2 characters and leader, and we'll attack for 9 and a life, because we really want to end the game next turn. So this is a very difficult situation for our opponent. His next turn, we'll have potentially 3 attacks with our Zoro, an attack with Doflamingo, and an attack with our leader. But it looks like they're going to start digging with Tempest Kick. So this could be bad news. Our Zoro could be out of commission here, depending on your draw. Oh, wow. Okay. We will just use our 0 cost event, and they probably lose the game. They definitely are not going to be too happy about this one. This is one of the situations where Straw Sword just comes in. Alright. We'll go. Let's see. Zoro requires 3 Dawn. So we will attack for 9 with Bonney. Now they did pick up 2 2Ks, but they probably weren't factoring in the Rebecca being rested. Alright, we'll put a Dawn on Zoro. Attack for 10 once. Use it. Okay. And they concede. Alright, we will rematch. Not a bad Lucci player, but I will say that last play was questionable. I would have played something else out rather than attacking into Zoro with 1 cost Spanda. So this hand has some of the pieces that we're looking for in this matchup, but as you can see, there's a big problem. There's only 1 card with counter, so we're going to mulligan. Alright, we're going to lead off with Jewelry Bonney, pass. This is potentially a pretty good hand. There's less bricks in it. I mean, there's still 3, but we have Bonney Searcher and a 2K. That's not bad, really. Let's see what we draw for turn. Another 2K. Not too upset to see that. Alright, we're going to search with Bonney first in the event that they trigger out something that KOs. Oh, perfect. We can get Cavendish once again. And we will attack for 7,000, and they will likely take. Alright, pass turn. Alright, they attack our Jewelry Bonney and let that go. Oh, okay. They must not have the strongest hand if they're going to filter out like that. Alright, so what we'll do is we're going to keep the pressure on. We're going to play our Cavendish. Attack for... misclick there. Attack for 6,000 into leader. And more than likely next turn, with this amount of life, since they haven't had the best tempo, we're just going to drop Hody Jones and go for life. Potentially arresting whatever they decide to play this turn. They may play like a Sabo, because it looks like they really need to filter for something. Their graveyard's set up, or I should say trash. Their trash is set up decently, but I don't know. We'll go ahead and use our leader ability to rest the Khalifa, and then we will take this, I believe. Let's see, 6 Dawn, So they can't E-show yet. We'll take this. Oh, okay. As predicted, it's a Sabo. And they awkwardly have one Dawn. I would have used that Dawn if they didn't plan on using it. That's just me, because you want to use your Dawn efficiently every turn. You typically want to use all of it unless you're playing a defensive event, which I suppose they could be. Alright, we are going to play Cody Jones. In the event that they are, we're resting the Dawn and Sabo. And now we're going to deny cards in hand. We're going to go 6,000 in the Sabo. Okay. And then we're going to... I have two options here. I think it's stronger to go 6,000 into Khalifa, remove it from the board. And then we go 8,000 into Sabo. If he saves it, he saves it. I'm not too concerned about it. That's 2 cards out of hand minimum. That's just fine. Go ahead. We still have our leader effect active. We'll be going up to 9 Dawn next turn. I could just play another Hody if I wanted to. E-show. Okay. Not the end of the world. We're just going to push for game, I think. Let's see. We'll have 9 Dawn. Okay. We'll be able to fully tap out this turn with a Rouge. So we play a Hody. We're going to rest your 2 characters. Attack with Cavendish to life. So now they're really going to be hurting. 5,000 at life. And then we will likely take both swings at life. Or just put them at 1. We'll put them at 1 and then just try to get rid of the Sabo. I'm not too concerned with the E-show, to be honest. And if that's a misplay, it's a misplay, but yeah, forcing out more 2k counters. Alright, we'll play a Rouge. End of turn, a Rouge effect, pass. And they've got a full trash. Notably, there's no Gecko Morias here, but I don't think they've drawn them either. Otherwise, they would have played one last turn. Tempest Kick, okay. They're digging. Which, I mean, they could set up a Lucci. Okay. Alright. They're really digging. If they don't find the Gecko Moria, they're probably in trouble. This is a pretty strong board state. Alright. He's gonna reduce something by 1. Okay. We'll go ahead and rest the E-show. Just remove the agency from that card. Notably, he will not be able to use the E-show effect, but if he does choose to use it, he can play Jack and KO any character on our board. Is this okay. Rebecca, Spandine, Lucci combo. Okay. That's not the end of the world, really. Now, if they had a 3-cost Brook on top of all this, that would be kind of rough, but we'll see what happens here. More than likely, he's going for... Oh, he did not go for Cavendish. Interesting. Okay, now he goes for Cavendish, I see. Let's see. We'll use 2 2Ks. We want to keep our Cavendish. Okay. Alright, so here I mean, realistically, we could just go for game. We've got 3 attacks, 1 blocker, 4 cards in hand, 1 life. We'll attack with Teddy Jones first and see what happens. More than likely, they'll take it. They could block, however. Okay, they decided to take it. I would say more than likely 9,000 will do it. Because if we look at their trash, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 2Ks. A lot of Rob Lucci lists only play about 8 to 10 2Ks. Yeah, I'm most comfortable going for game here. We'll just, let's see, give, let's count that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Dawn on my leader. 10,000. And if they have the counter, they have the counter. Otherwise, they're going to take 11,000 from Cavendish. They have the counter. Okay. Alright then. We'll play Jewelry Bonney. Let's see. After the Cavendish effect, we should have enough for 5. It'd be most advantageous to... Oh, we can get Strawsword. I'm doing all this math, and we just have Strawsword. Rest. And that's game, folks. What a find. It's a good game. I do not, however, want to play another round, so we will say good games. And leave. Let's play a different kind of matchup. We'll play stuff that's at least somewhat meta relevant. Kalgara is like a little bit of a different animal here, being a very prevalent aggro deck. This hand is pretty good. We have a Searcher, we have a Rouge, and a Zoro. That's a pretty solid hand. We'll keep it. We'll play our Jewelry Bonney and pass. Alright, they play Stage. More than likely, they'll be looking for Wiper. Not that Wiper, though. Typically, I would be looking for the 5 cost, but that may have been their only option. Alright, we're gonna search with our Jewelry Bonney. We have a few choices here, but I think we're gonna go for the safest play, which is getting a 2K counter into such an aggressive deck. We'll go 6,000 life. They take potential trigger. Maybe the Earth won't lose. Okay, Flame Split. That might have been a misclick or just a misplay. It could be a neuter player. We won't cast any judgment. Go ahead. Okay, 5,000 in my Jewelry Bonney. That's fine. And they do reveal a Holy. Alright. This would have been an excellent turn to set up Carrot if they had any rested characters, but they do not. Since we are just going to be playing a Rouge, we'll attack for 6,000 life. They are very aggressively taking life here. Looks like they trigger the Earth Won't Lose. Okay. We'll cast our Rouge. End of turn, a Rouge effect, and pass. Okay, notably with this, their ohm is going to get 6,000 power. This may seem like a strange move, but I'm going to use my leader effect to rest this Kalgara, because we can keep it rested with Carrot. We're at 5 life. We're going to take this every time. We don't want to be too aggressive with our life, so we'll counter out this time with the 2k counter that we've shown them. I don't particularly need another Bonney search. We'll keep our life total healthy. This deck can have a lot of surprises. And they play Wiper. Okay. So notably, guys, with this card, it says you may return a 1-cost stage to the bottom of its owner's deck. Note how it does not specify your own. So you can bottom deck your upper yard, yes. But if you're playing the mirror match, like I've done at locals, you can bottom deck your opponent's upper yard, but also you can bottom deck Reiju's stage card, and that can hurt their consistency sometimes. So just a neat little tech. We'll go over that when we do a deck profile and some testing with Kalgara, but I do play this deck in person as well as Jewelry Bonney. Okay, so again, because we have our Rouge, we can tap out every turn. So we'll go 7,000 at Holy, and they may let this go. They may counter out. We'll see what happens. I'm not too concerned. I mean, they are starting to put their foot on the gas a little bit. I was expecting a Mont Blanc Nolan, but that card's not searchable, and it is the most powerful card in their deck, but it is not searchable. We will use Carrot to freeze the aforementioned Kalgara. End of turn, a Rouge effect, pass. So again, going to Mont Blanc Noland, it is a 5-cost that when you have a Kalgara, which this is the only Kalgara in the game, it allows you to take the top card of your deck and put it into your life, effectively healing you a life for free. Okay, they're going to be attacking us for 7,000. What I'm going to elect to do here is use my effect, of course, and we're going to rest the leader in case he wants to get aggressive. Could be perceived as the wrong play, and that's okay. We'll go ahead and take it, though. We'll take that 7,000. This one will counter out of easily. And if they want to attack us with Holy, that's fine. Okay. I think staying at a 3 is probably comfortable, so we'll use the useless Captain Kidd. I don't think we're going to have enough time to set this up into this deck, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. And there's the Rush Ace. That's exactly why I did not want to take life. We will take this attack because we have to. Okay. The safest play here would be to probably go into board. So we'll go 6,000 into Ohm, keep Kalgara frozen. Okay. We'll go. Okay, we could go Jewelry Bonney and freeze something else. Do a search with Baby 5. However, we do have Basil Hawkins, which that's a pretty good card. And then we can still search and then do a 6,000 swing into another character. And I think that's what we want to do. We'll play our Baby 5. We don't hit, and that happens. That's fine. We'll just put them at the bottom like such. We'll go 6,000 in the holy, make them use a 2k counter if they want to keep this character, which they do, probably. This is a kind of a tough situation. I think going for board here is probably correct, because trying to go for life is a little risky. Depending on their list, they could be playing cards such as Onami, and Onami could KO like a Rouge, for instance. So, in turn, a Rouge effect. So this is tough. But this turn we're going to rest one of the larger attackers instead of the leader, because right now his board's clogged up. 5,000. Okay. That's fine. They're either potentially baiting or they just know I'm not going to block, which is probably more likely. We'll use effect and we'll rest one of the 7,000 attackers. Doesn't particularly matter, but we'll rest these. $8,000 going into carrot. Okay. We want carrot to live, but we just have no counter in hand, so I think we have to let it go. And I think we have to posture for game. Oh, do they have a rush card? Oh, 9,000. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that flame split card, very, very good card. Oh, they play another wiper. Okay. That's pretty aggressive. Yeah, I mean, I take that. Okay. Yeah, what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna posture for game. Considering you just search for a 1k counter. We'll attack for 7,000 into Kalgara. Then we'll go 7,000 again, and hopefully that'll be good. We'll see. They did tap out, so they will not have the Earth won't lose, notably. Okay, so I think we go 8 to guarantee that they take the life. And then we'll just do another 8,000 with Hody Jones. And I mean, if they have it, they have it. I mean, there's nothing else we can really do here. 7, 9. Okay. We'll concede. It was a pretty good game. We'll see if they'll rematch. They did. Oh, and they disconnected, sadly. Okay. No big deal. Still a good game. We'll keep in, wins, losses. It's good for just seeing different scenarios. We'll play against a more top-heavy deck like Pudding, so we can show what that looks like. But in the meantime, yes. So this is a personal channel I've had for a long time, but I really enjoy the One Piece TCG. I've been playing since OP04. My very first introduction to the format was a pre-release. It was a good time. I did really badly, but it was a good time. I enjoy One Piece and its contents. I like to keep up to date with the manga. Um, very, very good show. The manga being even better. Um, so, being a One Piece fan and a fan of card games, this is just a recipe for success. We will try to again get a more top end heavy matchup like pudding. It's really yes, perfect. Okay, into pudding. We want to go first because they want to go first so that they can use that leader effect to get to 10 cost one win sooner, or one of their other big threats. So we'll go first. This hand's not looking so good, so we're gonna try mulligan. We'll play our 1 cost jewelry Bonney and pass. Amande, okay. Probably playing that 2K in the advent of a lot of aggro, because Charlotte Pudding loses to aggro very easily. Okay. Our counter isn't the best, but they're not going to be necessarily aggroing us down, so we're going to take the Arouge here. And we're going to attack for 6,000. This will force them to attack with their leader into Bonney. Or if they misplay, they will attack with their pudding into Bonney. And I could punish pretty hard by resting their leader, and they don't get to use their leader effect, which is extremely counterproductive. But we're not going to count on misplays here. Okay, so they reveal Bon Clay and 9 cost Charlotte London. We're going to elect not to use the ability. I mean, it's not particularly relevant here. We just leave it up in the event that certain events get either not sequenced correctly, or they play out. I mean, it's pretty much just the sequencing. So they go 5 at us. We're gonna take that. Didn't mean to click the leader ability. It's okay though. Okay, so they left the pudding there, but I'm not taking the bait. We're gonna go straight for life. And there's no trigger, so we'll play that, and then we don't. We'll leave the leader effect active. We'll attack for 6. They'll take it, I'm sure. Okay, and pass. So next turn is really interesting. We could play this Trafalgar Law, depending on what they play. And restanding Cavendish, that could be pretty effective into this leader. Barring any triggers, of course, being Capone Beige or other triggers such as that. So we'll see what happens. We'll likely counter out of whatever they decide to do. We want to keep our life total a decent bit. I mean, we don't want to counter out too heavily, because a lot of the time our life is just going to get trashed anyway. Yeah, we're not going to counter that heavy. We will rest the pudding, but we're going to take it. Okay, Bon Clay. That's fine. More than likely, then we'll just let's see. This is pretty interesting. We have 7 Dawn. So let's think about this. I think our most effective course here is going to be getting a search with Baby 5. I believe we'll just take a 2k counter. Although Rosinante, how many 2Ks do we have? We only have one 2K. Yeah, we'll take a 2K counter here. Okay. And we will attack with Bonney first, because again, we know what the top of their life is. So there's not a risk of Cavendish just dying to this attack. Alright, we will attack for 6 to life, Cavendish effects. Not really too concerned with what they choose to do here. They counter out. We're just going to play Basil Hawkins and pass, because this way 9-cost Lindland can't remove it. Alright, it does make Bon Clay bigger if he chooses to attack, but I'm not too worried about that in particular, really. Okay, so what they'll have to do here, if they want to get anything done, is attack with the Mr. 2, but they wisely choose not to do that. Okay. So I think we do another search. Okay. So Doflamingo is a really good option here. More so than Resonante. We're going to take Doflamingo. It's really good in this matchup. Okay. And then we'll play a Rouge. And then attack with Cavendish. Okay. And then to establish our board more, we are going to use Restand Law. Restand Law. Attack for 6. Okay. We'll attack for 7. No. Attack for 8. Okay. End of turn. Rouge effects. So effectively, we just developed 2 bodies. We attacked twice with Cavendish, and we got a large swing off with Bonney. That felt pretty good. All they really would have to do here is they could play another 10-cost Lindland. They could play 9-cost Lindland. That would probably be a more... Well, I would say that's a more effective option. And honestly, it probably is, because you more than likely want to get rid of a body. But we'll see what the Charlotte Pudding chooses to do. But we're looking pretty good, because they probably are looking to end the game soon. Okay, they play around our 10-cost Doflamingo, and that's fine. We're just going to keep searching with Baby 5. We'll get whoever wins this war becomes Justice. Notably, we can't get Straw Sword because it is a Don Quixote family card. I think we attack for 6,000 with Claw, and we'll replace him with an Rouge. Yeah, I think we do that. Just to use our Dawn effectively. Make it a 7. I mean, we could leave up some pretty minimal defenses. Honestly, that's what I'm inclined to do. Let's go. Let's go 9. Then I'll just go 9 again. That's fine. I know they have their block here, but this is a lot of pressure. Okay, that's fine. We'll use our Arushes. I mean, more than likely they'll just go for game, but we have a lot of cards in our hand. I mean, they pretty much have to go for game now. We'll just use Bonney to rest the ace. We'll just use an Rouge. If they try to remove Hawkins, then that's fine. We'll counter out here. So we'll get rid of a Doflamingo since we're not going to play it, and a 2K. Okay, this is more than likely game. Yeah, we'll let the baby 5 go. You can attack into my life if you'd like. Oh, attacking with Mr. 2? That is just a misplay. Okay. And yes, you get counter out of hand, but that's a blocker that you don't have. Okay. We'll just search again with baby 5. Get a 2K. Just to get a little value there. 7. Yeah, they've used 3 2K counters already. I feel like we don't need to draw the game out, so we'll just do that. Otherwise, you know, I would do more math. If they counter out of this is fine, because we still have 2 more 5K swings. It's kind of crazy, though. Wow. It was actually, like, almost optimal that we swung that way. GG. We'll rematch. Okay, this time they're gonna likely elect to go first. We'll see what they choose to do, though. I don't mind going first or second, but first is probably preferred here because you want to develop Cavendish. Alright. That's what testing's for. This is not a good hand. We're gonna mulligan. Okay. Alright, we don't really, and by don't really, we just don't have a play. They'll attack into us next turn anyway to use Pudding's leader effect, which I didn't explain that, but when attacking, Pudding essentially turns the top 2 life cards face up, and then you get to add one of your Dawn from your Dawn deck as rested. Very potent effect. and there's cards that work in conjunction with that. Notably, you have the 6-cost Charlotte Katakuri that can take 2 of your face-up life and put them face down, so you can use this effect again. And you also have the Viola blocker from EB01 that can you just play it. It's a 2-cost, 0 power. On play, you get to flip 2 of your life face down, and I believe you get to rearrange either yours or your opponent's life. Very, very strong card. We didn't get to see them utilize it last game, but I have a feeling they will probably use it this game, if available. Yeah, but this matchup can be pretty swingy. It just kind of depends on like tempo, who sees the right top end, how certain things are sequenced. But otherwise, I'd say it's like a fair matchup. I mean, as you saw, we were able to kind of get underneath and have just really good tempo and just pressure their life, which is what you want to do against Pudding. Is you want to pressure them, because otherwise, if it gets to late game and you both have high life totals, more than likely Pudding is going to win no matter what leader you're playing, because it's just, okay, I'm going to play 10-cost Charlotte Windland and do another 10-cost Charlotte Windland and do another one. Or I'm going to play 9-cost Charlotte Windland, or I'm going to play, you know, this, that, and the other, and you just lose because their deck is designed for late game. Whereas a lot of decks in the format, they have really good late game threats, but Charlotte Windland is just a notoriously powerful card that Pudding is able to ramp out early. So you really want to pressure them and make sure that they cannot sit back and just do what they want to do, because if they do, again, you will likely lose. Let's see. It's unfortunate our opponent is not there, as it would be nice to either find another opponent or something of that nature, but they're back, so spoke a little too soon. Alright, they reveal a Charlotte Katakuri and a Capone Beige. We're going to take this because we want more cards. Okay. So I'm going to go behind my line of reasoning here. I have nothing to play. We just discussed that going aggro is better. However, they revealed a 6-cost Charlotte Katakuri. So I think we pass here because I don't want to give them the Katakuri if, yeah. Okay. Okay. Just gonna pass last turn. regardless. So I will be honest and pass again. So this is kind of like a broken state of things, but we'll just pass. It's fine. Okay. Yeah, it seems like our opponent is appreciative that we're not taking advantage. I mean, it's just one of those things on the sim. Me personally, I don't like to have any unfair advantages. I want to best my opponent when they're, you know, operating at their highest ability. I don't like to take advantage of silly little things like that. I think we just go 7 to life. Okay. Develop carrot. Pass. More than likely we lose this game. That's probably just what happens. In this instance, we probably want to maintain our life. So, I know they have a beige there, so Zoro's not even the most effective card. Okay. So, what we can do here is... This is tricky. Well, it's not all that complicated when you think about it. I'll just play another carrot and leave that frozen. And then we'll go 9,000 at life. Let's hope it's not an Onami. Okay. That is... I mean, that's on me. But they would have KO'd a carrot anyway, so I suppose it didn't matter all that much. Okay. Oh, I misclicked. I was going to lose that game anyway. That's kind of an irreparable game state. I'll go first. And we'll mulligan. Not a very good hand. Layer jewelry Bonney. Pass. Okay. Search with Bonney. We'll pick up a 2K. Attack for 6. I should have. Well, no, I played that first last turn. Never mind. They counter out. Okay. Pass. Again, they'll have to attack with putting into Bonney. Putting the leader. They whiff. Okay. They are perhaps regretting countering with Flampe then. 8,000 at me. Okay. Well, that means we get to keep our Bonney around, and we'll take that. Zero cost event. Okay. We're not at risk of Cavendish dying no trigger. Guess we'll just get a Bonney. 5,000 to life. Probably take it. Pass. I don't mind if the Bonney gets taken out now. Okay, so they had a category. That's fine. 7,000 at me. Yeah, I will choose to rescue category. I'll counter out here, since this could be a longer game, unfortunately. Okay. So the unfortunate thing is, well, no, we know what the top of the life is, so we'll be fine. I'll freeze. Attack. I don't like doing it, but we'll attack into the unknown life. Okay, they counter out. I mean, this is a strong board state, but they are gonna just drop 10 cost Limlin. Sure. I will counter out though. Okay. This is where I wish I had a Zoro. Let's see. What do we want to do? I think we'll go 6 delay, freeze through Charlotte category. Play Basil Hawkins. 6 delay. Six to life. Play that. We're in a decent situation. They do have the 9 cost Limlin that they showed earlier. Sure. We'll rest your leader and block. Okay, that's fine. They'll be getting rid of Carrot probably. Or Cavendish. Cavendish is probably the better option. Yeah. Okay. They have 2 life. It's unlikely we'll be able to go for game now. So what we'll do is we'll play different. We'll go 6 to life. Freeze the category. And it's gonna be frozen anyway, but they don't know that. 5 to life. Alright. 10 cost of Flamingo. Bad. They lose out on some good tempo here. 6 to 9. You know what? I'll block it. Another one. Okay. It'd be like that. Alright. Well, we're gonna continue to pressure. Because they cannot kill us next turn, really. Like, realistically. Let's see. I'm not sure what the Dawn's for. They might be teching something that I'm unaware of, so we'll just do that. Let's go 7. We'll probably just go 7 again. And then we'll just go 9, 10. Probably my best option. And if the last life is a beige or you're the one who should disappear, then so be it. If that turns out to be the case, then I will attack a character and get rid of it. But putting them to 0 also has merit. Okay. And it's a beige. Excellent. The only bad thing here is if they have any blockers that they can play out, it could be difficult for me to win. They're also going to have to use attacks. Oh, okay. I mean, these huge hits I'm just going to take. I don't really have a choice. I mean, I guess their best bet is to Tenlin, trash my life, gain a life. I mean, even then, you're just putting me to 0. You can't win, really. It'll again come down to whatever trigger they have at that point, but that's not a very solid play. Okay, so it looks like they're just going for game. So I lose out to the 10-line attack. If I let it get to that, but we'll just kind of bait them into keep going. Yeah, sure. I mean, you just miscalculated. Okay. It doesn't really matter the order. I have to take one or the other, and I'm going to bait them into attacking me with the 10-line. So 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep. Jeez. Okay. Alright. And once again, if you want to take a peek at the deck list, that's what we're working with. But otherwise, that's a wrap. We played some meta-relevant decks, went over our deck lists, went over some, semi-formal introductions. I will be trying to stream and to see how that goes over on Twitch, twitch.tv/the One Piece 1021. Things are just getting started. Again, this is a brand new endeavor. I've never really recorded videos or anything of that nature, but I see the desire for the content out there. The more One Piece content that's out there, the better, specifically for this game, because it's a really solid game, and the meta is really diverse and healthy, and will continue to be so. So hopefully we can get some new players in. Any sort of tool or avenue to get more people to play the game is exactly what we want. We want the game to grow and thrive. We want it to be around for a long time. So, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I should be trying to do uploads potentially every other day for a while, schedule permitting. Try to stream maybe once or twice a week just to see how that goes as well. So thank you guys for tuning in, and until next time.